In Lesson 4 for Google Sheets, we're going to look specifically at the print settings, including worksheet margins, orientation, scale, showing grid lines, entering a header and footer, page breaks, and then we're going to hop back out of those print settings and look at spell check, the undo and redo buttons, and how to sort data. So this will again be towards learning objectives from our syllabus, numbers 2 and 5, which our students will work with Google Sheets to gain proficiency through various projects, and students will learn to input and sort data, create charts and graphs, and use this data to predict future trends. Also, Montana Technology Content Standard 4 is pretty much where we're working as long as we're in Google Sheets. So apply and refine the skills needed to use communication, information, and processing technologies. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to look at is some print settings. So to go to print, we go up to the file and then down to print. And I had to scroll a little bit. Print. You can see over here we've got some settings. First of all, I can choose to print the current sheet, which is just the one worksheet. I can choose to print the whole workbook, which is both pages or both sheets that I have in this workbook, or you can print a selection of cells. I'm going to leave it with current sheet for now. You can choose to print in landscape, which is wider than it is tall, right? 11 inches wide and 8.5 tall. Or I could choose to switch to portrait, where it would be 8.5 inches wide and 11 inches tall. You can also change your paper size. Tabloid would be like double the size of letter. Or there's legal, that's 14 inches long instead of 11, so 3 inches longer. Those are your three most common sizes. We'll leave it at letter for today. On the scale options, you can fit it to the width, which is what's happened right now. You can fit it to height, which means every cell from that worksheet will fit on that height. Fit to a page, if you're not sure if it's the width or the height that's the bottleneck, you could choose that option. Or normal size, which in this case actually came over to a second sheet, which is where then we'll talk about custom page breaks. You can choose where you want it to break at. It automatically is choosing to break right here. You could choose to have it break at a different spot. It won't let you break it further though. We could break it closer to the top, but it won't let you go lower. See, that changed where it's going to break at. Other things under formatting, you can choose to show the grid lines, or you can choose not to, where it'll just be white in the background. Also a notes option to show. You can choose the print order. You can choose down, so it prints this page first, then this page first, then over, then here on your spreadsheet, or you can choose this page first, then this page first, then this page first, then this page. So there's just some order that you print options. Then alignment on the page. First I'm going to come back and I am going to fit to I'm going to fit to a page. I can choose to center align it, vertical or left align or right align on the page. I usually think center looks nicest, or I can choose vertical alignment in the center. I could also choose to align it at the top or the bottom. This pretty well takes up the whole page, so it's hard to see it. And then finally, headers and footers down here. We'll arrow that one down. There we go. I can put page numbers in. So there, I added a page number. I could put the workbook title. See, there it is. I could put the sheet name, which is quiz 1 through 3. I can put the current date, so it shows up there, or current time as well. So those are all header and footer options. And if there's row and column headers where you have frozen rows and frozen columns, which we'll show you in a later video, you can actually put those on each row to repeat for printing purposes. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and back out of the print settings for a bit, and we're going to look at spell check. Spell check is something you should always use no matter what program you're working in. In this case, Sheets. It's up here under Tools, Spelling, Spell Check. Alright, so notice I spelled activity wrong on purpose just to see if spell check would catch it, and they did. So now I have a choice. I can change it, or I can ignore it, or I can add the word activity with an IE to the dictionary. I would not suggest you do that. I'm going to go ahead and choose change. So you can see it changed activity right there for me. Now it has no more spelling suggestions. And we're done. Will spell check catch everything? No, it will not. Check this out. I took the OL off of there to see if it would find it. It didn't. So spell check, although it will catch some mistakes, is not perfect and probably won't catch everything. Another thing I want to show you is the undo and the redo buttons, and they are located right here. Undo, Control Z, and redo is Control Y. Those are two shortcuts I don't use often, but maybe they would be something you would want to get in the habit of using. So what happens is I just added the OL here. That was the last action I did. If I hit undo, then it's back to the way it was. If I hit redo, it's going to go, that action will be redone again. So that's what the undo and the redo button are. And if you want to undo a lot of actions, you can, okay? Those are all the things I had been messing with in this spreadsheet. And the last thing, sorting data, one of the most useful things in all of Sheets. First, I'm going to select a section of data, and I'm going to make sure I get these column headers in there too. And I will show you why in just a minute. But I want to select this entire area of data because each one of these individuals has, specific scores that are tied to their name. You want to make sure you select all of it and not just one little chunk of it or their first and last names, or that data will no longer be tied to their names, and that is bad. You've really decreased the usefulness of your spreadsheet at that point. Okay, so now that I've selected data, I'm going to go up to Data. I could choose one of these sort options just immediately if I knew it was what I wanted, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to Sort Range. Now, right now this box is not checked that the data has a header row, but it does. These headings are the header row, the first name, last name. So I'm going to go with data has a header row. And now, see, before it didn't know that it had a name, but now it does. It recognizes that the first row instead of column A is actually called last. So I want it to sort by last name, first name, quiz 1, 2, 3, or total. I can sort by whichever one I want. I'm going to go last names, A to Z, and I'm going to add another sort column, and then if there happen to be, maybe twins in the same class with the same last name, then it would sort by first name secondarily. Sort. So now you can see they're all in order by last name. Maybe I wanted to figure out real quick who had the highest score on just quiz 2. I could sort it, and then all of a sudden, oh, I think I messed up that sort. You can sort by quiz 2, which then it sorted by number, and we figured out Carlos Monteroso had 100%, and so did Lucas Andre. Those were the highest. Now see it sorted by number according to quiz 2. So there's lots of things that sorting can do for you. I use the sort function really often. So, I hope you enjoyed these quick little lessons on printing, settings, spell check, and undo and redo buttons, as well as sorting data, and good luck on your assignments.